What's up, y'all? I wanted that music to keep on going. My name is Manny Streetz. Good evening, SoCal Filipinos. What's up? Happy Filipino American History Month. My name is Manny Streetz. I'll be your host, moderator, and your hangout person for this evening. Now, before we meet the panelists, let's watch a quick video about Velvet Sky. Let's go.
This is Velvet Sky.
Meet Miguel, everyone.
What we want, though, is the truth.
Yeah, for sure. I'm ready. You should know that if you want your name in big bright lights, then you have to fight for what you want. Didn't your Filipino mom teach you that? Didn't she?
Just a fucking bully, man.
Hi, my name is Charles Gray. I'm a Filipino American writer and director, and I've been making short films, documentaries, music videos for the last few years now, and recently I've been really concepting this feature film idea called Velvet Sky. What I'd like to create is a proof of concept short film that tells the story about Miguel, who's a young filmmaker who meets his hero in the form of Victor, who is our antagonist. Miguel asks Victor to mentor him, so they form a relationship that over time becomes toxic. And this type of story is something I really wanted to tell because Filipino stories don't get told enough, and I feel like we need to share all of our stories, whether it be happy stories or dark stories. We've got a great team behind this, starting with our producer, Leon Pierce Jr.
I have been writing, producing, and directing for several years. Recently, I wrote, produced, and directed my first feature film, Welcome Matt, starring Tajmar and Dion Cole. And I feel very honored and privileged to be working with Charles Gray. He pitched this story to me, and it's a very personal story that I'm sure many people are able to relate to.
I'm dealing with themes of like crab mentality, which is something that happens in the Filipino community, but honestly is something very universal that happens with many cultures.
As we watch these two characters, then we can also see ourselves in them to have a better understanding of how we can be better as people. And I think that's what really good storytelling is. And you can really play a big part in making that happen by your contribution. And for anybody who knows what it is to have a dream and to put in the time and the energy and the hard work to make it happen, it's always greatly appreciated. And
thank you so much.
All right, 1, 2, 3.
Thanks for watching, guys. That was a video that gives you a little preview of what Velvet Sky is about. Thank you, SoCal Filipinos, presenting Velvet Sky today, talking about with the panelists and the director. I'm excited to introduce the team to you guys. So before we bring them up, I just want to say hello to all my Filipinos tuning in right now. Now let's bring them all up right now. Let's introduce yourself, you guys. Come on to the show.
Hello.
This is our lovely cast, and of course our writer director Charles. I'm gonna let you kick it off.
Oh yeah, cool. Thanks for hosting this, man. This is cool.
Of course.
What do I say?
Introduce yourself.
Okay. So I'm Charles Gray. I'm the writer-director of Velvet Sky, and thank you all for joining. This is the lovely cast. This is not the full cast. This is just like, I would say, the main cast of the short. If I had everyone come on, it'd be a really big Brady Bunch type situation. But yeah, Velvet Sky is this movie that I've been living with for like the last 3 years, and I really just met Leon, who's in that video that you just saw, and he kind of sparked pushing me to actually make it, because I pitched him the movie, and he's a guy who just made his first feature film, and like you said in the video, and he was like, yeah, I love helping other filmmakers out as well, which is an amazing quality that he has. Shout out to Leon, who's just got a really big heart. And yeah, I pitched him the movie, and he was like, yo, that's cool. Like, he's like, have you ever seen, because it kind of has like a similarity to like Whiplash. I don't know if you guys have seen Whiplash, but so Whiplash was made as a proof of concept feature, proof of concept short first. And that's how that got in being made into the feature. So he was like, yo, let's make the proof of concept short. And I was like, I am down. So that's pretty much how that happened. And then meeting everyone here who just joined, who was on the cast. Yeah, it was a blessing to get this amazing cast to be part of the movie. So,
well, thanks, Charles. Don't give away too much already. let's go to the some of the guys from the cast, and of course the lovely lady. Go ahead, you guys.
Who's going first?
Well,
Ladies can go first.
Yes.
Hey, I'm Kelsey. And hello. I played the role of Emily in Velvet Sky.
Hello, my name is Jasper Capalad. I play Miguel in Velvet Sky.
Hello, my name is Darren Lee Campbell, and I play Simon in Velvet Sky.
And my name is Reuben Uy, and I play Victor in Velvet Sky.
Thank you guys all for joining us, first of all. And before we get to know all of you like very deeply, tell us how you guys got started. I guess, Charles, let's start with you. You're the writer director. How did you get started in filmmaking?
I mean, I kind of just wanted to follow my dad's legacy that he started. My dad was a filmmaker in the Philippines, and I think there was just one day where I was like, yo, how come, like, I don't know. I just felt like following his footsteps was like the way to go. And I never looked back once I started making films. And that's really how that all started.
Mm-hmm. How about you, Jasper?
Oh man, I've been so in love with film since I was a kid. I mean, what started it was when I was a kid. I used to watch. I mean, I still love Godzilla. Godzilla's like my boy, But when I was a kid, I used to watch every single behind the scene feature of Godzilla, and it was so cool seeing it's literally just a dude in a suit destroying toys, and I just thought it was so cool, like seeing like that the final product is a giant monster destroying cities, destroying everything. So I think that sparked something in me, and I was like, I want to do that, but I also want to act and stuff because it's really, really fun. I joined theater in high school, and then started all of that, and here I am.
That's awesome. How about you, Kelsey?
I guess what originally drew me to film and acting in general was storytelling. I love stories and I love narratives and being a part of them in any way possible. I originally was involved in theater, and it's been sort of a recent transition for me to explore the on-camera world, which has been really fun to see this part of how storytelling works in this medium.
Yeah. Darren, what about yourself?
So my dad, he's a screenwriter, and that kind of got me going because my dad would always sit us down and we would all watch movies together as a family. I'm oldest of 6 sisters, so we would all sit down and just watch movies. And we always watched a lot of like Bruce Lee movies when I was a kid.
Ooh,
a lot of fighting movies. Like I grew up thinking those guys were superheroes. So, but they just inspired me to like just get into like filmmaking and just getting a reaction out of people. Like people are so tuned in to just watching these guys entertain them. So I'm like, I want to do what they're doing.
That's awesome. How about you, Reuben?
For myself, so I grew up in the Philippines, and then I was working as a theater actor for a while, and doing like a lot of commercial stuff on the side to feed the theater career. And then when I finally moved here, I was just thinking of just continuing what I was doing there. But then eventually I fell in love with doing film, meeting people like Charles. And I had the funny story about me being in this film is that Charles and I were working on our sketch for Panflet Productions, which I inherited from G Tanji in Bayan 18. So we were doing like a live show at that time, but I kind of inherited it, and I decided to like pivot more towards doing a Key and Peele comedy series featuring Filipino intricacies and eccentricities. So our first sketch, which I posted in SoCal Filipinos, is called Sinigang, and it was basically 2 bros debating which is better. Is it pork and different, and which is sampalok, right? Or salmon and miso, and they go into their different arguments on which one is better. And while we were talking about that, he was like, hey, actually, I have this one other thing that I want to try out for. And I'm like, okay, I'm down. And I fell in love with the film because of the movie Sliding Doors. Because it's the first movie that I saw where I was like, you know what? You can't turn this into a theater production. You can, but it's best on film.
Yeah.
And and then I started kind of observing stories wherein like, oh, this is best as a book. The book is better than the movie. Oh, this is better as a TV show. For example, Game of Thrones, you can't make that into a movie. Like there's just too many things to talk about. So that's how I love with the medium.
Well, you guys, who are some of your idols from the industry that you guys always watched growing up, and maybe even inspired you to become, an actor? Jasper.
Wow. I mean, my top is Will Smith all the way. I mean, Will Smith is like one of the best actors I've ever seen. Tom Holland, I mean, I didn't grow up watching Tom Holland, but watching his performances, like I saw his movie The Devil All the Time, and that's like I've never seen him, like, because everyone's so used to seeing him in Spider-Man, but in that movie he plays like a very troubled teenager, a very like angry person, and it was so cool, like seeing him like from like seeing his range of like his like emotions and stuff. So because you don't really get that in Spider-Man, so it was like when I saw that movie, I was like blown away. And then obviously Leonardo DiCaprio. I mean that guy is like really good. But yeah, and then I mean in terms of directing, Damien Chazelle all the way. I mean like this movie is like low key inspired by Whiplash, which that's like one of my top movies right there.
Nice.
James Gunn, fun movies. Ari Aster, crazy horror movies. But yeah, those are like my idols right there.
Darren, besides Bruce Lee, Darren, who are some of your idols?
So I grew up inspired by the late Lee Thompson Young. So he was, when I was younger, my sisters and I used to watch the famous Jet Jackson. He was a Disney star. And I don't know, he was just so cool, man. It was cool to see somebody else that looked like us, that was just like a superhero in Disney. And, he went on to do bigger things. He was in big shows.
Yeah.
He was in Smallville as Cyborg. So I'm like, man, I want to be a superhero like him. And and then, later he had, I didn't know he had, he was suffering from depression. So he committed suicide, unfortunately. But he's the one that got me into the whole acting thing.
Nice. What about you, Reuben?
So many influences. I think, of course, there's Marlon Brando, and the thing that I fell in love with him, it's not because he's not a method actor. A lot of people credit him for inventing method acting, but he didn't. He doesn't even consider himself a method actor.
Right.
So I'm so curious about that, because how can you if you watch A Streetcar Named Desire today, you'd be like, you know what, that acting can still be put into today's films and it'll still work out, as opposed to some other actors where they're like, I am acting and I am acting. You know what I mean? And well, see here how my voice sounds. But then with him, it's just he's there, he's playing the character, he knows what he wants, he's so direct. So that piqued my interest because I didn't know what it was. It's like equivalent to eating a sandwich and you don't know what's in it, but it tastes good and you're satisfied, but you don't know what's in it. So that started the journey into like, how do I do that? How do I do what he just did?
Yeah.
And Buffalo is a favorite of mine because he knows when to pull back. Chadwick for me follows that same trajectory. Kate Blanchett and Jessica Chastain are my current favorites.
Nice. Awesome. How about you, Kelsey?
Well, I feel like one of my first idols actually started getting me into acting is Sally Wingert. She's like an actor up in the Twin Cities.
Yeah.
And I just remember when I was little, I saw her in like 2 different shows, like theater plays. And I remember my mom had to explain to me, she's like, no, that's the same person. And I was like, no, it can't be. No, she was so different. My mom was like, no, it's her. And I just remember like that blew my little mind. I was like, she was so transformative. And so she was actually one of the people who like really got me into acting and like this idea of transforming. And I also just appreciated that she was just like doing her thing in the Twin Cities. She wasn't like a big name movie star. But then, since then, so many different influences. I guess recently, I feel like Olivia Colman, love her, Frances McDormand, so many amazing actors out there to look up to.
Now, Charles, you being the writer, director of this movie, who are some of your idols really quickly before you tell us about why and how you created this movie?
Yeah, that question for me kind of always changes because I feel like I just get inspired by so many things. Like I remember like back then it was like those John Hughes movies. Like how did he capture like that kind of essence of like just like people and then it was like how did he do that? And then when I started actually making films, I got kind of like obsessed with like dialogue, like really like people who wrote dialogues. like long pieces of like I love like monologues. So like Woody Allen is someone who I just like soaked in, because like he wrote a lot, like just really heavy dialogue stuff. And then like, you know, Robert Rodriguez, I found out like he edited his own movies, and I was like, dude, Robert Rodriguez, like so like, and then I got into like Quentin Tarantino. It always kind of shifts, and then like it's hard to say like who is like the one who's been constant throughout all the years. Like Wong Kar-wai is another one that like the colors he uses. So like all these like different elements of things that I loved about film, whether it's be like writing dialogue, colors that they use, or how they use the camera. So like I tried to, I don't know, I get inspired by so many things.
That's awesome. Now tell us, you know, what inspired you to write this movie?
You know, I kind of, well, I guess I didn't really too much touch on it, but I was actually thinking about this a while back. Like after I got out of film school, the stories I started to make were like, it felt really organic when they were personal stories, like stuff that actually happened to me. And for me, this was another one of those things where I actually had a mentor, and I did fictionalize like what is happening in the movie, but as far as like the inspiration, yes, I had a mentor, because you know, when I was in the bubble of film school, everyone was like, oh, when you get out to LA or Hollywood, you got to find a mentor. That's like one of the things you got to do. So I thought like, oh, in my head, like, oh, okay, I got to find a mentor. Like I would love that, you know, like shadow someone, or, you know, I don't even know what that looked like. Like, do I go to work with him and like, you know, follow him around, or, but yeah, it happened, and I found one, and you know,
so is this a true story?
A bit, you know, yeah. I mean, inspired by, and you know, obviously, I took some fiction into it and morphed it in a way, but the basis of it did kind of happen in a real, true to life way.
So in a quick elevator pitch, what is this movie about?
It's a mentor-mentee relationship that goes toxic, but at the end of the day, there is like a silver lining that I feel is about how do you actually show up for the community around you. So
that's awesome. Now, Reuben and Jasper, you guys are playing the main characters in the film. How did you guys prepare for this role? Because I read the script, and man, it is deep. It is deep. But you know, so I kind of know the process of what you guys went through in terms of trying to prepare for the role. Especially you, Reuben, because that man, how did you guys do it? Jasper, how did you guys do it? How did you prepare for it?
So I think there's like a funny story I told Charles. I don't think I told Reuben this, but during the audition process, I read like the synopsis and stuff, and it's a mentor-mentee. And the description of Miguel said like he's an aspiring filmmaker. So I was like, oh, cool. Like I love film already. Like this is my passion. And they also, which also meant a lot to me, he was casting for like Filipino actors. I was like, this is my time to shine, dude. But yeah, because like you don't really get that luck with like casting calls and stuff.
Yeah,
but never. Oh my gosh, the way I had to like get into Miguel though for this movie, it was really, really hard. During the audition, I told Charles this. When I did the audition, I didn't know who Victor was. We didn't cast Victor yet, but I pictured it as The Rock. it was so like, it's so random, but I was like, okay, who's like a big Filipino, or not like a big like actor that I look up to? And I was like, okay, The Rock. So I was like, just like during the audition, I just picked.
We almost got him. We almost got him.
You know, I text him every now and then. We're cool, you know. But yeah, and then when I got the part, I immediately messaged Charles on Instagram. I was like, hey, can you send me a picture of Victor? And I want to actually like try to do input some like method acting.
Sure.
So whenever Reuben, this might sound weird, but I idolized you. On like I looked at your Instagram, I was like, dude, this guy is so crazy. So like whenever like I still remember the first day of like read, like what was it called? Table read. I saw you walk in the room and my heart sank. I was like, yo, that's Reuben. Yeah. So yeah, after that, we started doing like rehearsals, and I got the flow of my character, and
that's awesome. How about you, Reuben? How did you prepare?
You know what? Mine is actually a little bit the opposite of Jasper's. The thing that I love about Jasper and I is that in real life we get along so well, but we're at opposite points in our careers. And so when I Jasper's age, I was also like very into method and like, well, let's live the experience and things like that as well. But I think life is like technology, you know, you update yourself. And so, for example, if you have a 2005 MacBook Pro, you try to use it today, it's not going to solve any of your problems because it was made for 2005 problems. Right. So it's like, so I'm in a point in my practice, that's what I call, you know, this career, in my acting practice, that I kind of wanted to go away from doing method and to just, you know, be more technical, be more, because I think like after a certain age, life hits you so many times. It's like, my metaphor is it's like a kitchen. And if you cook all the time, then you just have all your pots and pans just around as opposed to keeping them again, because you'll be taking them out. So it's like when you get to a certain age, you've been just punched in the mouth by life so many times. Like, for example, I don't need.
He was going to say he doesn't need all those pots and pans.
Oh my gosh, what happened?
I don't know where he went.
Life got him.
Did he get punched in the mouth? Or no?
Punched in the mouth again.
Just kidding. Yeah. So anyway, my preparation was all just memorizing from the get-go. As soon as Charles was like, "Okay, this is when we plan to film," by the very next day, I already planned out my week. I was like, Monday, I'm gonna memorize pages 1 to 4, and then pages 5 to 9, and then pages 10 to 14, and then the final scene with Jasper. And like, let's just read the script. A lot of actors, for some reason, try to avoid the script, and then they end up paraphrasing a lot of things. Just read it. If you don't know the words, just keep reading it until you know the words. Yeah. And then it's so I'm now trying to adapt a more Anthony Hopkins style of knowing your lines, because what he does is he memorizes everything rote with no feelings at all, and he memorizes like the beats, the musicality of the lines, and then afterwards he just injects the emotion depending on who he's acting with. I didn't want to create a performance without meeting Jasper first. And so if he researched my IG, for me, I'm just like, okay, you know what? I'm just going to know all the words. And then once I finally meet him, then we'll see what happens.
Wow. That's awesome, you guys. Thank you guys for that insight. Now let's have some fun. We all know that October is Filipino History Month. Tell me, each one of you, what is your favorite Filipino food? Kelsey.
Perfect. Okay, so literally I saw that list on like the list of questions, and I was like, okay, I'm going to have to turn to all of my wonderful co-actors. Okay, because my favorite, I haven't had that much Filipino food. I'm so sorry.
You had what?
Dude, no way.
I know, I'm missing out. I need to take all y'all recommendations. The one that came to mind, I can't remember the name of. It's a dessert with like fruit and it's like layered fruit and like shaved kind of like ice cream. Am I totally?
Halo?
Yes. Okay.
Oh.
That. But I haven't had that much, so I need to write down what all y'all are saying.
Halo is legit. That's a legit choice.
That's legit.
It was so good.
You're honorary now.
Honorary. Oh my God.
Darren, what is your favorite Filipino food if you've had any?
So the only place that I've been to, it's right up the street here, right on Vermont and Beverly, where they have spaghetti and
Jollibee's.
Yeah, that's like the only Filipino.
That place is legit. That place is legit.
I'm just like, you have spaghetti, fried chicken. I'm like, shit, this is black people food too. Like, I'm like, we eat some of that.
It's close to it. Reuben, what's your favorite Filipino food?
So I know that I mentioned that Charles and I did a sinigang sketch, but actually sinigang is not my favorite Filipino food. But I know it's a lot of Filipinos' favorite food.
Yeah.
Mine is dinuguan.
Dinuguan. I was just about to say that too for some reason.
I love it so much I can eat it without rice.
What?
I can eat it
rice.
like a soup, man. I can eat it like a soup.
You like it spicy? Some people like it spicy.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Well, depends. I don't have like, it depends on my mood. Like if I want the spice, I'll like, you know, I'll stab the chili or whatever it is you got there.
Charles, what is your favorite Filipino food?
Man, Dinugaan is like my number 2. Like it's always a toss up. My number 1 though is correct, but it has to have Bagaong with it. So.
Oh wow! How about you, Jasper?
I like the McDonald's Happy Meal. I'm kidding. No, no. I
Filipino
love
style. They,
Turon.
they have Filipino style Happy Meal in
They
the
do?
Philippines. Yeah, in the
In
Philippines.
the Philippines. All right, I'll go visit there real quick. I'll be right back. But no, I love Turon. Oh my gosh. Like I love lumpia, right? But I will never forget the day like my mom came home with like Turon and like that banana inside
Oh.
I don't know what it was called. I
Yum.
forgot. Dude, oh my gosh, my heart like I was like, yo, this is so good. So yeah, I love that with the like burning passion.
Now, Reuben, Charles, Jasper, you guys are Filipino in this film, and of course in life. What does it mean to be part of this? What does it mean to be part of a film like this that focuses on being Filipino? Charles.
Yeah, I just I want to just kind of add to like telling more Filipino stories, and I kind of say it in that video where like because we're also dark as we are happy, or like we do have sadness as much as joy. So I wanted to I am tackling kind of like a dark tale in Filipino culture, but like I feel like it's necessary. So for me, I just want to see more Filipino stories, whether they be really happy, good ending stories, as well as just like dark, gritty, I don't know, shoot 'em up stories. So that's just how I see it.
Jasper, how about yourself? When you found out, okay, they're looking for Filipino, this is my role.
This is my moment.
This is my moment. How does it feel for you I mean, you're pretty much brand new in Hollywood. You just moved out here, and now you're coming into this era of, I guess Filipino-ness, because there's a lot of Filipinos now starting to get noticed. What does it mean to you to be part of a film like this?
Oh gosh, I feel I don't want to like okay, I feel honored because like for years and years, I mean, like I'm not like trying to bash them, but like white people, they get like the lead roles, they always get like they get the shining of like every single like in the industry. Not a lot of Filipinos get that shine in like this industry in general. I mean, because like there's like, I mean, you guys know this. There's a lot of talented like Filipino artists. We got Bruno Mars. I didn't even know Olivia Rodrigo was Filipino till recently. So I was like, what? So like I really want to like set a footprint and just like showcase that like Filipinos are like actors too. We could pop off,
Sure.
It like I love diversity. I mean, like Black Panther came out, that really like sparked something in me too. So it's like it's just like I feel like us as like as a group, I feel like we're on like the right path to like getting that spotlight we need, like that we deserve. Because honestly, we're crazy. We're crazy, man. Crazy talented.
I love that. Reuben, how about you being in this industry for a while? With your list of creds and experience, being in Hollywood for a while as well, and of course also in the Philippines. Transitioning to America, what does it mean to you to be part of a film like this where it showcases Filipinos?
It was very important for me. When Charles was pitching it, I kind of had the idea that he was kind of like, I hope he likes this idea. And as soon as he said crab mentality, I was like, say less. Let's do it. Because so I'm not sure if our audience knows what crab mentality is, but in the Philippines, we coined the term. I think we did. Did we coin the term? Or we popularized it because we love crabs. But then what we noticed is when you put them all in a bucket, whoever, because so they're all on top of each other, right? Whoever's closest to getting out, the one at the bottom grabs the leg and drags that crab down. So nobody wins.
Right.
So like crabs, they'd rather everybody else lose than one of them to win.
Right.
And at first I was, because when you're born in the Philippines and you live in the Philippines, you're pretty critical of your own culture, because you think like, oh, look at everybody else in the international world, they're so successful, and look at us, we're not. And you kind of get into this self-flagellation, self-loathing and stuff. And it wasn't until I moved out here and I was like, you know what, we can do this. We're actually, that's why, if you notice, Filipinos, once they get out of the Philippines, excel.
Yeah.
Well, once I got into Hollywood, I didn't realize how many important Filipinos were up there in the executive level until I got here, and I was like, we can do this.
Mhm.
We can be successful everywhere else. It's
Yep.
just that we have a lot of bad habits, and I honestly believe it's because we got colonized twice by the Spanish and the Americans, right? So
Yeah.
we've been made to feel bad about who we are twice.
Sure.
So I feel that we're still reeling from the effects of that, and we're now slowly finding our footing. My goal in Hollywood is to do what Alvin Kailan did for breakfast sandwiches, because he basically mixed in advanced culinary techniques with his taste. So that's my goal here, is to tackle our own stories, because Filipinos are good mimics. That's why we're good at choral music and things like that. We sing Latin real great, but it's about time that we talk about the things that matter to us, and so that we start supporting each other, and so therefore they can't deny us if the Filipinos all over the planet become this one big blob of a force.
Yeah.
They can't deny us anymore. So that's the goal, to make that big diasporic and local and whatever, this Filipino blob. And
Yeah,
I like that metaphor. I do. We all do know about the crab mentality, and hopefully we can change that into the school of fish mentality, where we're all together. You know.
Yes, sir.
Now, for each one of you, what is the message that you guys want to give the audience while they watch this film? I know it's not coming out just yet. We're still in post and all that. So let me start off with Darren. What is the message you want them to take away when they watch this film?
Well, I'm currently in theater school right now. Like I'm attending Los Angeles City College for Theater, and this film kind of brought back some moments, because I've had instructors like Reuben's role. So seeing Jasper react to that, it's like we need to have compassion. We need to realize what's going on in each other's lives.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, this is an art. You know what I mean? And a lot of us, we have these masks. You know what I mean? We have these masks, and we're trying to cover up these wounds. But this film teaches us that we're all human. You know what I mean? We all need each other. You know, and you know, we're all trying our best, but we're all going through something. You know, we're suffering. So this film it's teaching me, if what I got out of it is just compassion, love. You know what I mean, for one another, and that's what I got, especially watching Reuben and Jasper, just go back and forth. You know what I mean? It was heartwarming, like watching it. It was very gutty. Like I felt like I was gonna cry. So and it's great because I was able to get some of the Academy students to be on the set and watch this, and we were like, wow, like going back to acting class and just like, wow, did you see that? Like, I had a teacher like that. Like, did you see how they reacted? Like, so it was great for us to talk about that too, because that hits close to home as well for some of them.
How about you, Kelsey? I know you're a big theater buff. Did you have any, I guess, similar experiences like Darren did? Having that Reuben character, Victor, going into Miguel, as he did it, in the film.
Yeah, definitely. Honestly, like reading when I got the sides before the audition, I was so excited because I was like, oh, I relate to this. I've seen this. I know what this feels like. I know what it feels like to be in the room. I know what it feels like to be on the receiving end of this like toxic mentality that happens in arts communities.
Yeah.
It happens a lot and it's really sad. And so I think, my like major takeaway is that it was so cool to watch Reuben and Jasper, because I feel like specifically with Reuben, you could just like see it coming from this place of like fear, which I kind of feel like plays into like the crab mentality thing of, it's like, why like do we react to fear in that way? Yeah. And so I guess my major takeaway for people is like, we don't have to react to that fear in that way. Like it's sort of like we all do better when we all do better sort of situation, especially in the arts.
Yeah.
So I guess that's like the major takeaway for people, and that I felt and related to in the script for sure.
Right. And how about you, Reuben?
For me, Yeah, with my own experiences, I did a production of Hedda Gabler in Manila, and the director played the role that I played before, and I know he meant well. I really do. Even today, if we talk face to face, like, I know you meant well, but you can never do that to me again, because the Filipinos, I think the crab mentality and the gatekeeping bad habits are kind of similar. If you notice, we are the worst grammar Nazis on the internet. We correct people with their English all the friggin' time.
But we have bad English.
Well, and not only that, like, the world is, so for example, me, like, I one of my peeves is when people say, "Oh, you did that perfect." I was like, perfectly? Because that's grammatically correct. Like, it's perfectly.
Right.
Think differently, but Apple's like, think different, right? But then people, the vernacular has now shifted more towards that, and you can't stop it. Language evolves.
Yeah.
But then I was like, oh, I just have to let go of this gatekeeping thing that I was kind of bringing over from the Philippines, and I was like, it's not working here in LA. And I'm like, oh, if I'm already having a hard time, and I'm supposed to be worldly, I'm supposed to be, exposed to international cultures, but still, there's a lot of things in our Filipino DNA that that I think right now we're having more positive attitudes about. And so I think Charles being able to write this story is proof of that. It's starting to get into our psyche, like, we don't have to do these things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Jasper, what is I guess a takeaway that people should take when they watch this film?
Man. Well, for me, how I take it, I really want people to watch this and feel inspired. Because my character is a passionate filmmaker. He wants to do what he loves. He wants to share his art with the world, but like in my personal life, I've been told, no, don't do that. Do something else. This is not for you. Like, I've been told that so many times. It hurts. It really, really does hurt. And it's just like Darren said, like, compassion, and I feel like this short film definitely shows crab mentality. Like, that's it's very gritty, it's very brutal. So I just want to shed some light, because I know that happens a lot with like the like with us Filipinos. Like, how strict people are. I'm very thankful enough that like my mom, my parents, everyone that's been supporting me, like, they've been supportive. But it happens, and I want to shed some light on that. It's really crazy.
Now, we as a cast and, of course, part of the team here at Velvet Sky are also raising funds. So you guys can get involved in helping raise some funds for this short film that we're putting together. And hopefully you guys can be, part of history. Charles, can you tell everybody where they can get involved?
Yeah, so we've got the Seed and Spark campaign going on right now. There's about, I think, 12 days left, and we're trying to raise $13,000. I know that sounds like a lot, but honestly, like, to put this like amazing cast together and the crew behind it, shout out to everyone who worked on this. There was about, I think, 37 people in that group photo that we all took at the end, and then even more so on the third day. It takes a village to make a film, and so that the Seed and Spark campaign just helps with making sure everyone gets paid, and because everyone puts in the hard work, and it's so amazing. Like, everyone's kind of talking about like what they got out of the film and what they're hoping people get out of it. And I think just, to piggyback off of that, it's important that we tell these stories, because I think when we tell these stories, whether they be really personal or not, that's how we kind of come together as a community, as people. And that's how we better ourselves. Like, seeing someone else's story on the screen, and just like that emotions you feel when you get that. So, if you donate, you're donating to like that, the art form of creating stories. And, we're all like artists here. And, I just think we just got to tell more stories and keep it going. So that's what you're supporting if you support the film. So
now, speaking of donations, there are some special gifts that come along with those donations. What are some of those? I know some people have really asked me about, if I donate X amount of dollars or whatever, how can I be a producer? How can I, be a part of this film and actually start off my producer's cred? Maybe some people don't even know how to get involved, but this is their chance, right?
Yeah, no, totally. I mean, we like our biggest perk is you can be an executive producer on the film if for the last donation, which is I think about $800. But yeah, we also have. I wanted to do this one thing, and I've seen other people's campaigns, and I see what they donate, and I thought, okay, if we're telling like a Filipino story or we're talking about crab mentality, how do I kind of show that or like reflect that in what I'm offering? So I wanted to pick these like Filipino owned businesses to kind of donate their stuff. So we have this peanut butter called Spread the Love, which is like this kind of like mom and pop peanut butter or organic peanut butter company. So like they donated some peanut butter. Hello Hia, which is Hello Hia, which is Iya Baklagan, who's in the film herself. She actually has like her side business, so she was generous enough to make hats, tote bags and stuff. So and yeah, we have this other t-shirt company that you can get a shirt that says Warrior on it. So I just wanted to kind of highlight Filipino businesses and stuff like that, just to kind of reflect just that kind of like community aspect of what we're doing. And Jasper, shout out! I just saw some of those photos that you guys took. He's like modeling some of the swag that you'll be seeing soon. So.
It's so cool. It's so cool. I wish I stole one. I'm kidding, but no, they're pretty cool.
He's not kidding.
You're not kidding.
Charles, one more question before we go to the screen for a couple questions. I guess what is the timeline? I know the cast won't know this, but what is the timeline we're looking for where people can actually see some of this work right here?
Yeah, I mean, the tricky thing with short films is, some people, they make the short film and then it's like, oh, we can't release it because we have to submit it to a festival, and all because like festivals want premiere status. So that's the tricky thing. But I may probably do like a casting crew, maybe like some friends and family type of screening once it's out, and it's in post production now, so I probably give it about a month or so before it's actually ready to show, and then I guess from there either do some sort of internal little festival thing, or hopefully it premieres at a nice festival that we can all go to and dress up and do all that.
Well, you guys get involved, start donating. We're gonna have the premiere at Reuben's house. Surprise, Reuben.
In the car.
Better get those Happy Meals, bro.
Did I just book a Marvel movie? Like, what happened?
Well, thank you guys so much for coming on. seedandspark.com/fund/velvet-sky. You guys want to donate, get involved, help us make this film even more better than what it is now. All right, so let's go to the screen and ask some questions here. Let's see. To the main roles, were there any chemistry problems at any point? If so, how did you overcome that? So I guess Jasper and Reuben, when you guys were doing your scene, it probably got intense because the script was intense.
Yeah. Were there any chemistry problems? I mean, no, I don't really think so. I was like completely like mesmerized by it. Because like if you guys look at Reuben's work, he's been on Netflix, he's been on some big stuff already. So like it's already kind of easy to be like, yo, I like him. Like I look up to him. So I mean, yeah, the moment we started rehearsing, the moment it got like intense, it was pretty fluid.
That's awesome.
Yeah, no, not at all. Everybody in the cast was lovely, and Darren and Kelsey as well. I think the production did a great job of getting people who are not just about themselves and are really about the craft.
Yep.
And no, if anything, my chemistry with Jasper was like through the roof. I was scared that we might be getting along too much. Because we get along, like I need to have a lot of tension with this guy, but it was just there was a huge amount of trust. I know that Jasper's young, but he doesn't have any of the tightness of a young guy because he's such a fun-loving and easy personality. Easy meaning accepting. He just accepts. I accept you. I accept you. I don't know this, so what is it? It's not
Yeah.
I know this, so let me pretend to know what it is. And I think Kelsey hit the nail on the head there when she mentioned about fear. So and fear and trust for me are opposite sides of the spectrum. And so there was no fear at all. I trusted these guys. I trusted Charles. I just had a lot of fun.
That's awesome. Next question. Let's see here. From Ronnie. What advice would you give to young actors or people who want to pivot to acting for the first time, or who are having a tough time getting into the business? Because it is tough. What would you guys say? Kelsey, let's start with Kelsey.
I feel like I'm also like fresh into the acting world, so I'm like, or the on-camera world. Yeah. So I'm like, I'm right there with y'all. I guess, in this city especially, it seems like just try and get yourself out there, right? Just kind of like do the hustle in terms of look for things that you want to be a part of and see if there's a way you can be a part of it. If that means talking to people who are a part of it, or making sure you're doing your research to see what's going on out there and like see what you want to do and try and talk to the people who are doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Darren, you with your father being a screenwriter, you've been in the game for basically when you were born. How about yourself? Any tips for any upcoming actors or people have been in it for a while and trying to get the break?
Well, my high school, they were big into like film festivals, so we did a lot of films in high school. So I was lucky to already get that exposure.
Yeah.
But I didn't go to college for theater right away because, again, that fear. I had people in my head telling me, you should go get a 4-year degree in education or something that's going to guarantee you a salary. So I listened to those people. I went to school for education. Then I would take acting classes. I'm like, man, this is so fun. So I started a little bit later. And what I would tell people, if this is what you want to do, go after it. Like, don't let anything stop you. Just try it. Get your feet wet. Read plays. That's very important. Read plays. Get to know just seeing other people act. Get out there, do some improv. Just get out and do stuff that you can be in public in front of people to get over your fear. If you have fear of being in front of people, getting used to it. Like for me, I'm in theater school now, so I'm doing a big play. If you guys are welcome to come see it, October 28th.
There you go.
Court Martial at Fort Devens.
Nice.
So you guys are welcome to come see it. I'm going to be doing that outside in front of. I've never done this. I'm a film and TV guy, so
it's
this
so
is
fun.
new for me.
So fun, yeah, dude. You're gonna have fun.
That's awesome. Congrats on that. That's awesome.
Yeah, just get out there. That would be my advice. Like, don't be afraid.
You'll have
get out
a bunch of Filipinos in your audience now.
Reuben, you've been in the game for a while. What is your advice to people who are aspiring to be someone like you?
Well, just know your why, I guess. Because if you're just doing this because you're bored with your job and you just want something, a little. I've had so many questions like that. Like, hey, what do I need to do to be an actor? It's like, are you in class? Are you taking acting class? Like, what's your experience? No, I mean, I don't know. I was just thinking of hopping in, and I was like, "What do you think people do?" Like, you have to think of it like a business. It's you're a doctor. You just got out of med school. You need to let people know that there's this awesome doctor. But how do you start that, right? You try to get customers. You start small, and then you get referrals. It's still the same hustle.
Yeah.
It's for example, like meeting Charles, and then now because I did this movie with Charles, and I now know Jasper. I now know Kelsey. I now know Darren. And because of that, then who knows? And then people may refer, hey, I know just the guy to do it. I know. There's this actress. Her name is Kelsey. She can definitely give you this, and this. Essentially, you're like a company making a bid every time.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Just like you're bidding on. Think of it like you're an architect. Oh, this is my design for your building. If you like it, so. It's like, this is my design for your character. You have to think of it like that. If you're thinking like, oh, maybe because I'm just a charming person and I'm a good looking, so maybe I could become an actor. Like, no, you have to have a
nah.
Jasper, you moving out to LA is where'd you move from?
I moved from San Diego.
San Diego. Okay, so you made it. I mean, it's still close, but it's a big move because now you're in the
Yeah.
tech. You are here.
Yeah.
You are doing it. What is the advice, I guess, that you can give to upcoming actors such as yourself?
Just surround yourself with like people who will support you. And if you really have that drive, if you love it, if you're passionate about it, if you're willing to put in the work, if you're willing to sacrifice things you love, then do it. You know, I had a friend. I went to Boston with my friend because he got accepted to Berklee College of Music, and this is the moment in my time where I was very scared to move to LA. And he told me, like, right before we said our goodbye, he's like you're gonna regret not doing what you love. You're gonna keep waiting. If you keep waiting, you're gonna regret it. And I really took that to heart. So like as we were like flying from Boston, like, the plane lifted off, I felt like I ascended. I was like, whoa! I was like, yo, that really hit. So I mean, and like even before I moved here to LA, I've been booking stuff from like here in LA. So I would commute every single week to LA every single week for months, and then I was originally supposed to take a break while Velvet Sky was filming, but I saw this opportunity and I just took it. And then now, like ever since I moved here, I've been booking things left and right.
Awesome.
Get the training, really get the training. Because like acting is a nonstop learning process. It is not a single day where you're just like not like learning something. It's hard. This stuff is it's not just a thing where you get in front of the camera and you just perform. It's way deeper than that. It's a lot of work. It's all mental work too. Because like me as a person, I have like I close myself off with my emotions, and what I love about Velvet Sky is that I was able to break it. You know, I was able to let my emotion like literally like let go. But really work hard. If you're passionate about it, that's all that matters. It's gonna take sacrifices. You're gonna lose a lot. But in the end, if you love what you're doing, then do it.
Yeah.
Keep going.
Charles, you being the writer director, seeing these lovely actors on set, and you working with a bunch of actors yourself, what is I guess a quick tip that you can, or advice that you can give to everybody who's trying to break it in business?
Like as a director or like
writer, as a director, as a writer, just seeing the talent come in.
Yeah, you know, to me, you know, I'm just fascinated by actors, and I'm also just as fascinated with directing. And you know, I always thought directing was this thing where you're like this guy who bosses people around and all that. But I don't know where I got that from. But like I also used to think like the director held the camera before I even knew there was a thing called a director of photography. But like doing it and going to film school and working with actors and like kind of leading a crew, I think just like kind of like what Reuben said, like the why you're doing it matters the most. Because if you're doing it for like, oh, I like bossing people around, or you know, I want it all my way, and for me, it's funner when you're collaborating and you're kind of like in a room full of artists and you're all making this art together. To me, that's just it's the feeling you get afterwards. It's the fulfillment, and that's what I get out of it. Because like, yeah, I lost sleep, I lost weight, I lost like money doing this project, but like that feeling you get, like, oh my God, I put this story and I made it, you know, I gave birth to it. It's like there's no better feeling for me to like see it come to life. And you know, I mean, we'll see it come to life when it comes to life on the screen, on the big screen. But for now, even just on the process of like filming it and wrapping and then like going home, it's like, wow, that was amazing. And I think I'm just going off on a tangent now. But
we're with you. We're with you. No, it's definitely worth it. It's satisfying. You know, it's satisfying, especially you being the writer director. All right. So, any of the actors, what was your methods to really get in touch with your characters? Some of you guys have touched upon this earlier, but you guys could go ahead and you know, list them down. Kelsey, go for it.
Yeah, well, I feel like my method changes a lot based on the project and the character and like the medium. So for this one specifically, again, this was something I related a lot to. I feel like this is the kind of situation that comes up in acting classes, unfortunately, these toxic moments. So for this, it was a little bit more of just making sure, like Reuben was saying, I really understood the script. I knew what was going to happen, and then just responding in the moment, because I feel like I already kind of had like a lot of the like basic. I mean, it's literally an actor in acting class. I was like, I've been an actor in acting class. I just need to go there and respond to what's happening around me. So that was kind of my method for this, was just like really listen and really take it in and see what happens in the moment. But that changes depending on the project.
Jasper, what was your method?
Just like it's kind of like Kelsey too. Like it really depends on the short that I'm working on. But for this, this is like really heavily on like emotional drive. Scene study, where you look at the script, you look at the lines, you read your character. I read the synopsis of like Miguel, so I took that to heart. And obviously that's me as a person. He's a filmmaker. So when those scenes were happening, when those intense scenes were happening, I have my script all the way back at home in San Diego, but like I just jotted down like notes, like what's Miguel's objective? Why does he do this? Why does he love film? So I wrote down like a whole page of like my character. And when I wrote that, it's a lot better to write it than type it, because like when you write it, you are writing as Miguel. Yeah. So whenever we got to set, I took all those words and then just put it to the lines that were in the script, and ta-da, you know.
Nice. How about you, Reuben? What's your method? We know you're a professional already, but what is your method?
No, and it's well, let me echo Meryl Streep. I'm just kidding. No, but I did say this, and I agree that it's different every time. I believe, like every time there's a different director, every time it's a different writer. Even with the same director, like for example, Charles, when we did the comedy sketch. And then when we did this, it's two real different things. You got to treat each project like it's, you know, if you're a parent, like what Charles said, he gave birth to this. So it's like you have to treat if you're a parent and you have 5 children, you can't treat them all the same, you know?
Yeah.
Eldest does things a certain way. The youngest might be a little erratic, or, you know, they might not take negative criticism well, whereas the middle child wants to be pushed hard. So you got to treat these roles, you know, you can't service your method. Like it's like Bruce Lee. He invented Jeet Kune Do and mixed martial arts because he was like, why do I have to kick you a certain way when I can just gouge your eyes? I'm so sorry. But that's what I mean. Like it's really different every time. Depends on the situation you're in.
Right. Darren, how about you? What was your method to get into character?
It changed a few times. I did the substitution method, trying to figure out who Kelsey was, you know, Reuben, Jasper. But then it changed because I need to put myself in the moment. I need to be there, be present. And that's where it changed from day to day. We filmed for 2 days. Kelsey, I mean, your game was already elevated. So I'm just like, okay, she's bringing something else at me. So it felt different the second day acting next to her, because it's like, okay, I didn't feel this way before. She didn't feel this way before. Now she's this way. So it's important to act off of you, like action, reaction, like how you're feeling at this moment and how I'm feeling, how I'm taking what you're giving me. So I thought it just whatever was in that moment. As long as I was in the moment, I knew it was. And the whole cast was just elevated to a high level. You know what I mean? Like everybody just brought their A game. You know, so I had so much fun just working with all of you. Like you guys were you made it fun. So I appreciate all of you.
Yeah. Sorry, guys.
Go ahead, Reuben.
I just have another rehearsal. Hopefully,
you're
see what that is.
All about the acting grind, bro. Get the grind up.
See you soon.
All right, Reuben.
Grind for life.
Bye, Reuben. Oh.
All right. So one last question before we wrap things up. What is, I guess, a great memory you guys had on set, Charles?
I something that just keeps sticking up to my mind is like the second day when we wrapped, there was like this feeling of like because we were all in this kind of bubble, you know, we were all in the same room for like the last 2 days, and just like that wrap, when you do that last shot and everyone just kind of goes crazy, like those moments are just like priceless to me. And I remember seeing like, because we were in a circle, it was like acting class, and that was the last scene, and it just, I don't know why that was the last scene. That wasn't even planned that way, but it just happened that way. It was like all of us in the same room. It was like just like that feeling of like, oh my God, we did it. So that was for me my favorite.
The relief, the big sigh. Jasper, how about you? What's the best memory?
Oh gosh, there's
so many. There's so many, right?
Yeah. Okay. the big first one. I think it was the first time Reuben and I performed the scene in front of everyone. And I was so nervous because I was like, dude, I'd never did this in front of anyone else. It was just me and Reuben or just myself. So I was like, in a way, I was like so nervous because like I thought they were gonna like, oh my god, he's acting so bad. Why? Oh my god! And in the moment, like, you know, Charles like, all right, cut. You guys are great. And I look over to everyone, and they're all like, whoa! And I was like, I did it! And I was like, let's go! But yeah, that felt great. But like another big great memory is honestly it was the cast, everyone, the crew, like everyone here brought so much good vibe. Like honestly, I probably wouldn't been able to like do this without like everyone on the set. Everyone, Darren, oh my god, you are so you are like the heart of like this. It's so like everyone is like giving good vibes. You're like, we can do this, let's do this. You know, one more take. Oh shoot, we have to redo another one. Let's do it, you know. And then we were like having a good time. We were like eating together as like a huge group. So like that's really, really nice. I mean, compared to like other projects I've already shot, Velvet Sky is still top right there for me.
That's awesome. How about you, Darren? What is your favorite memory?
First meeting the cast, Jasper was the first one there when I got there, sitting on the couch, and he's like, Are you one of the actors? You know, like right away he just started talking to me. I was like, oh, okay, this has to be one of the main guys. Like he just looked too excited. Like he just looked like he was ready. You know what I mean? Like it looked like he was ready. Right away I felt the energy the moment I walked in. I was like, all right, it's time to go. And then I met Kelsey sitting on the couch. Like everyone was so welcoming. Like, and then I think a funny moment for us is like Kelsey and I are scene where we got kind of goofy with the Disney stuff, and
oh my god,
seeing everybody laugh. I mean, like it was just a good vibe. Like everyone was just having a good time. I just really enjoyed it.
They weren't even like scripted lines; those were like genuine laughs.
I love it. Kelsey, what is your favorite memory?
I think probably the rehearsal we did the first day we were like on set. So we did like a quick little like rehearsal before we actually started filming. And I think just like actually seeing the space, like feeling the energy of the space, like, oh, this is what the acting class looks like. This is what it feels like. Being in costume, seeing the crew and all their hard work and all the amazing talent they were putting into it. And then like returning to the lines with all that energy for the first time. Oh, I loved it. It was so much fun.
I love it.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Well, you guys have been amazing. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Charles, Reuben, who just left, Jasper, Darren, Kelsey. You guys are awesome. I can't wait to see this film in its full art. Please, you guys watching this panel right now, please support the movie. Go online, seedandspark.com/fund/velvet-sky. Please support the movie. Thank you guys so much from SoCal Filipinos. You guys are amazing, and join us next time. Thank you guys. Have a great evening. Make a contribution now. Bye, guys.
Thank you.
Guys.
Thank you.